With Asian people, for example, I don't want to like paraphrase whatever, but a lot of Asian people live in Tower Hamlets. So, for example, your Bethnal Greens, your Mile End, whatever. When certain Asian people get a bit more money, they move to like the Ilfords, the Woodfords. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can actually see like, oh, you man have got money. Do you know what I'm saying?
The progression, yeah.
The progression in terms of like the area they live in, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas with black people, you might say Hackney, Brixton,
still rough,
Newham, Canning Town. Do you know what I'm saying? But then like, when you got money, where do you move? You know what I'm saying? Is it?
But I think the problem with us is that we also, and this is the problem I think with some of us, we bring the tone down. We don't know how to keep it that way. It's like, you know, like for instance, I've been to certain spaces where you see there's affluent people here, but you still get the odd person who still wants to act rough.
Oh, no.
And I don't get it. Yeah. And I think the biggest problem we've got in our culture is that we still glorify being rough.
Yeah, you glorify badness.
Do you know what I mean? Like no matter, even if you crossed over money wise, you know, you still want to do, like, for instance, when I was at the event the other day, you know, there was a brother, I don't know who he was, he had a hood on his head, fully, sunglasses, and this is, everyone's suited and booted.
What, GQ?
Yeah. And I stood there like,
Pitch black.
I'm like, sunglasses and a hood. He had a hood on it, walking up and down just with a hood on his head. Now one could argue and say that's streetwear, that's just how he wants to, but I'm like, nobody, I'm not saying I should say nobody else was doing it, but he had to be the only black brother in there doing that. And I'm like, sometimes I don't know whether we bring I don't want to sound like I'm being divisive, but
there's certain
things that we do, yeah.
What are you saying about me?
No, but the funny thing is that everybody was just looking like, I was walking by, everyone's looking like, you can see people like, you know, like they do that, you know why people do that smile like, you know, and they do that little thing, they go,
Why people smile?
You know, and I think, you're right, because in Atlanta they've got Buckhead.
Yeah,
so when you got dough, you got to live in Buckhead.
Yeah.
That's where you move to. And we don't have that part as black people in the UK. I'm trying to think, where's a little hub?
That's what I'm trying to say, there's no hub for that. Like, there's not one area that I can say, what, Pontoon Dock, but that's like bare people that like influencers that live around there or whatever, but that's, I wouldn't say that's black people as such, it's just like more of like a young urban.
Because would it not be the professionals, like the working professionals, to start that, like to start moving out to places like that?
But you know what it is, but another thing is London, no, it's not even that, you know. Another thing is,
what's the truth?
London's too expensive as well, so I think a lot of people are moving out in general.
Yeah.
So people are moving out to where they can afford. So like, you're getting people moving out to like, obviously the Croydons, you've got the Essexes, the Shafford Hundreds.
The where?
Shafford Hundreds, like near
Where's
Lakeside.
Okay.
Places like Erith, Dartford, you're getting people like moving out to those parts.
There's a lot of people in Dartford, but
yeah. But it's not just black people, it's everyone. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I don't think there's like there is a black middle class, you can see it. And also as well, maybe another thing is, only recently would I say that black people get ratings for being educated.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at people like Dean Forbes and Lee and them man there, like they're getting recognition for doing what they're doing. Whereas back in the day, I would have been like, you study. Oh, it's for the studying, man. Like,
for the studying.
You know what I'm saying? That it would have been, you know how people would have bantered, man. Well, you got uni. Like, people celebrated coming out of prison more than a degree. Do you know what I'm saying? That's like, it was more celebrated to be someone who's had a past, a bad past, as opposed to, remember that even in school, a man says, oh, you're a good you. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, that's mad.
Like, you're telling someone, oh, you're a good you. Brother, so? I'm supposed to be.
Glorified badness.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, with that being said, now maybe it will change with the new gen where people are being celebrated for education and being celebrated for doing the right thing, as opposed to doing the wrong thing.
But also as well, I think you have to remember that, I was looking at a stat the other day that it said that Indians own the most homes in the UK. Like literally from any subgroup at all, whether it's English, whatever, Indians own the most. So I guess that's why they've got their hubs. Because when you're buying up all the yards, if you look at, for instance, I'm looking on here now, it's saying like Southall, Harrow, and Ilford. Those are the three main areas.
That's what I'm saying, but you see Asian people,
and all the high streets.
When they went to the same area, like as in like, I'm in Tower Hamlet, you're in Tower Hamlet, whatever. They had bare kids as well.
Is that not what happened with us though? We went to like...
Yeah, but originally.
It did. It was in Notting Hill apparently, Notting Hill.
A lot of older Caribbean parents went, they all went to Notting Hill first.
But what did they do that they shouldn't have done?
They sold up.
Then
a lot of Africans,
imagine that
Thames Mead, all of that.
Notting Hill was expensive, lads.
Expensive, yeah. But a lot of them thought that they were going to get better in it. and a lot sold and moved back home.
Okay.
But remember, there's so many variables and nuances to this, because when you think about it, the races they must have got when they got here as well.
Oh yeah.
They're thinking, oh, I'm gone, man. Move, man.
That's one thing. That's one thing the Caribbeans did, though, is that they did take the brunt of the racism for us.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, they took the brunt of
But
it.
the thing is, there was a lot of Africans here as well, you know.
We came on a kind of like a. From what I know from my mum and dad, what they told me, I can't talk for everyone. We came on more of a peaceful thing. That we wanted to just come and just make everything work.
Yeah, but
whereas the Jamaicans were like, no, you lot ain't bad enough.
No, but remember,
that's what I from my mum and dad.
I feel like in terms of when black people came to this country, a lot of us came here with. Cause remember, for example, my granddad.
I had uncles that came here, but they studied and dipped right back.
My granddad
So
came here
stayed.
because they said to you, if you fought anyone who fought in World War II, you were allowed to bring your family here. So my granddad fought in World War II, survived, nothing happened.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. So he brought my mum here, our brothers and sisters, whatever. So they were living in Liverpool first, and they came to London. So mum came when she was like 7 or something.
Okay.
So, but obviously, with that being said, it was like read your book, like behave yourself. There was that. I feel like a lot of West Indians that came here as adults.
Okay.
And then they had their kids here. So remember, like a lot of West Indians are like second generation here. Like anyone that's like our age people, like second generation. But whereas we're first gen here. Well, you won it.
I was born in Nigeria.
Oh, cool. So I was first gen.
Wait. I know the way you said that. I know that. That didn't stop. That sounded like I didn't get what was going on just there. You said it really sharp.
You got
Okay,
bubble.
cool.
So what's the problem? You've got stay, man. You're safe. Check if the door's locked, please. Just in case. So as I was saying, yeah. So.
No, we can. I've had enough.
What's wrong with it?
No, I've actually had enough.
You want yourself.
No. I've actually had enough because
Man's laying down his phone like it was a fight.
I just come here in peace. Yeah.
Anyway, as I was saying, yeah. So I feel like a lot of Africans that came here, they were on the education thing, whatever. But I feel like
A lot of them didn't stay.
a lot of them left it. Like,
they
my
left straight
granddad,
away.
the kids here, he would go back and forth.
Yeah,
Whereas I think
that's why they kept them
West
here.
Indian people came here to like actually live here, and I think the racism that they experienced. Remember, there was a lot of stuff like there was a lot of murders. There was like a lot of.
My dad came here for 3 months and he dipped. He's like,
it was mad,
this
bro,
place
like-
is mad.
Remember,
Where did he go to? Did he go back to Africa?
No,
Did
he
go-
kicked to America. He said, right, he goes here was like, there is bad, but he goes, at least he could see that he was going to make P in.
And the weather's-
But he
weather's
goes
better
here
over there
was
as well.
bad, and they were kind of holding people back from getting to where, like how you said, like now you see like the Asians have got certain areas, but he said from back then you could see like they were holding back a lot of black people
and even
progressions, they dipped.
a lot of when after the war, they were saying that they were allowing people to get. There's certain initiatives where you
Yeah,
could buy
like
a
certain
house.
loans and that.
They weren't giving it to black
giving it
people. But and even Asian people weren't getting it as much, but they were getting it more than the black people.